Good Friday morning, and thank you for joining us here on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Jason Hackett. Let's get right to your headlines. This morning, the man charged with killing his teenage son, Manny Collins, will be back in front of a judge. Manny was reported missing in May, and his body was found nearly 2 months later in an Elk River landfill. Michelle Beck is breaking down some brand new developments in this case.
Jordan Collins is set to appear at the Anoka County Courthouse this morning, but based on a motion filed in the last 24 hours, it's possible his trial won't be in Anoka. Of course, it depends on how the judge rules, but based on this letter I found in court records, defense says there's too much media coverage of this, and for that reason, Collins can't have a fair and impartial trial in Anoka County. For now, the omnibus hearing at 11:30 is already set to be in Anoka. It's where a defendant argues that their constitutional rights have been violated. It's also another step towards trial, which has Manny Collins' mother anxiously waiting.
The why? No. They're getting around to it. I know some stuff they talked to him about that doesn't even sound right. But I'm sure we'll see all that in court. It'll all come out. But the whys, I don't know if that'll ever come out. But I don't even know if I even want to know the why, because it doesn't make sense.
There's another interesting thing that we're waiting on. Jordan Collins' public defender included in the letter how they've hired a company to survey the community for their, quote, predetermined thoughts on the case. We can expect those results to become public. Back to you.
Michelle, thank you. This morning, Ramsey County sheriffs are sharing a warning after a man was charged in a string of armed robberies targeting sellers on Facebook Marketplace. According to court documents, Lester Pope IV agreed to buy gaming equipment from an 18-year-old last month, but when the two met for the exchange, court documents say Pope threatened them with a gun and stole the items. Court documents say surveillance video appears to show Pope committing two similar robberies. He was arrested last Thursday.
I have seen an uptick in risk of acts of violence happening with these robberies because it is a good way for, suspects to make a quick buck.
The Ramsey County Sheriff's Office says you should find a safe location to meet people. A police station is highly recommended. They say it should be well lit and public with security cameras. We're learning new details this morning about the ICE raid on a St. Paul paper company earlier this week. According to an emailed statement from the Department of Homeland Security, ICE agents arrested 14 people on immigration violations while executing a federal search warrant. That includes one person with past domestic abuse charges and someone who illegally re-entered the U.S. DHS hasn't confirmed the identities of those who were detained. Tonight, there is a benefit in Minneapolis to support the Annunciation community. 6 dance teams are coming together to put on a showcase with all of the proceeds going towards establishing the Annunciation Wellness Fund for Hope and Healing. That event starts at 7 at Totino Grace High School. Also, the city of Minneapolis is honoring one of the victims of the shooting, the council declaring November, her birth month, Harper Lillian Moisky Month.
Harper's family continues to honor her through community healing, advocacy, and creative acts of remembrance, reminding all of us that love is powerful and never leaves. It transforms.
The council also said Harper had a unique light and love and asked the community to keep sharing that light. A debate about a proposed data center in Monticello wrapped up in the last 12 hours. The city is considering 2 proposals for the centers that would house servers that power artificial intelligence, but some say they come at a cost to water, electricity, and quality of life.
We're a farm town. That's what we've always been, and we're evolving to keep up with the times, but this isn't the right way.
We've really been very strategic in thinking through how we want to think about this and considering what's going to work specifically for Monticello.
The city says it's still very early in the process and nothing has been decided just yet. Developing now, some congressional Democrats say their lives are in danger after President Trump accused them of sedition and suggested they could be put to death. That's after those lawmakers posted a video encouraging members of the military not to follow illegal orders. The White House is downplaying the president's inflammatory social media posts and calling the Democrats' message dangerous. NBC's Alice Barr has the very latest from Washington.
Hi there. Reaction to President Trump's comments is pouring in from Capitol Hill with mounting anger among Democrats who say their colleagues' lives are at risk, while Republicans largely back the president and the White House is not backing down. This morning, outrage after President Trump suggested 6 Democratic lawmakers could face execution for posting this video urging members of the military to disobey what they called illegal orders.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
The lawmakers, all veterans of the military or intelligence community, accusing the Trump administration of
pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens.
President Trump responding, quote, seditious behavior from traitors, lock them up, and seditious behavior punishable by death. He later reposted a comment from someone writing, hang them, George Washington would. By Thursday evening, one Democrat in the video, Senator Alyssa Slotkin, said she'd received close to 1,000 new threats and now has 24/7 security.
I'm worried about the safety of my staff, of my family, and obviously for myself.
Senator Mark Kelly, whose wife was nearly assassinated in 2011, voiced the same concerns while defending the lawmaker's message.
There is nothing more American than standing up for the Constitution. That's what we were doing.
Does the president want to execute members of Congress?
No. The White House saying the president has given no illegal orders and calling the Democrats' message dangerous.
The sanctity of our military rests on the chain of command. And if that chain of command is broken, it can lead to people getting killed. It can lead to chaos.
Growing fallout in a high-stakes war of words.
We may hear directly from President Trump on this today as he hosts the mayor-elect of New York City at the White House. The president has frequently denounced the Democratic socialist Zoran Mamdani, calling him a communist. Mamdani said he asked for the meeting to focus on affordability. In Washington, I'm Alice Barr. Back to you.
If you're heading to the grocery store this weekend, take a closer look at your receipt. Experts say the prices of certain grocery items could go down after President Trump removed tariffs on some Brazilian goods yesterday. That includes duties on coffee and beef, as well as certain fruits, juices, and nuts. Trump initially imposed a 50% tariff on those items back in July to protest the trial of Brazil's former leader, Jair Bolsonaro. He now faces about 27 years in prison after the Brazilian Supreme Court convicted him of an attempted coup. This morning kicks off the busy Thanksgiving travel period. That's according to Airlines for America. And this morning, MSP is preparing for a busy next couple of weeks. Between today and Monday, December 1st, MSP expects more than 440,000 people to pass through TSA. They say the busiest day before Thanksgiving is expected to be next Wednesday, the busiest day overall, Sunday, November 30th. Tonight in St. Paul, the Minnesota Frost start their season at home, but this year the team and the league looking a little bit different. Audrey Russo's at the Grand Casino Arena this morning, breaking that down for us.
Yeah, first and foremost, the atmosphere of victory is going to be front and center when the puck drops at 6. The Frost are facing off against the Toronto Scepters. But it's going to be a very different team and a different roster, especially since the league added 2 new franchises before the season even began. So who stayed and who left? Well, first and foremost, the forwards, Kendall Coyne-Schofield and Taylor Heiss, both top scorers on the team, stayed with the Frost. But they did lose Liz Scheppers, who scored the championship-winning goal last year. She went to Boston. Now, on defense, the Frost hung on to Natalie Bookbinder and May Batherson, but their 3-headed monster defense is no more. Sophie Jacques and Claire Thompson both went to the new Vancouver expansion team, leaving just Lee Streckline. So, can they do the three-peat this year? Well, that's what everybody's going to be looking at. They have 30 games. Tonight is just the first of a long schedule, so everybody wants to see how this new team plays together. And also, if you are looking to go tonight and you still don't have tickets, I did take a look online, and it looks as though the ticket prices start at about $37 and go up from there. Back to you.
Audrey, thank you very much, and go Frost. Stick with us. More news and weather coming up after the break.